So, so let me go back to this. One, I'll show you the process document. Okay. This is from our accelerator that we are looking at. The 12 structures, so we call it level 1 structure. But these are the high level processes that we are talking about, procure to pay. And we're just going to take this as an example. Within the 12 structures, corresponding, we have these high level processes, which are 24 of them.
Okay.
Sorry, 57 in all total. And for that 57, that correspond, we have the 344 sub-processes that are there. And I can switch that thing up. Where is this? Okay, this was the old one. I have it from the portal itself. So these are the processes that we have, and I'm going to open all of it, no filter. These are the 57 processes that we are talking about. So when you look at level 1 structure, we've got 12 of them that are listed. These are the 12 processes that we are talking about: assembly to inventory, buy to order, demand to plan, finance, master cash, order to cash, procure to pay, warehouse. So these are the main. This is what the is covering completely. Second level is the 57 that we are processing in. That 57 of them correspond to 344. That's the list, the I list that I've given. Now, what they are doing is going through this process, reviewing all 57 in the first cycle to make sure that the applicability is there and the functionality is there.
With the core team.
Yeah, with our core team, correct. So this is the process that that we deep dive into, because the first one will be the applicability for the higher level 51. What procure to pay is, they're going to go through that, and then for the 24, they dive in deeper. Is all within the 2.5 days that they're looking at, because the first 1 day from Monday afternoon to Tuesday afternoon, we are going to be reviewing our data structure, org structure, and model company setup. So that's going to be an overall defining of how the company legal structure wise, what the details are. So those are the things that Justin and Mohan are going to lead their conversation with all the consultants. Impact, for example, when we are talking about, in certain cases, the multiple warehouses, we'll take that into account, whether that's going to be a separate entity reporting wise. So all of those conversations come in. The second that we are looking from the 10 have the 57, we'll go through all 57, and the 24 here that I listed down are ones that these are the 24 processes. We'll kind of review it and make sure then go through the details, and this is the level of detail that we are going through the first cycle to make sure that we have purchase agreements, what are the flow and the process that's happening in this, the applicability for 24. And during this process, we will also identify the items. And again, when we are saying dirty items, we are just saying that's something that we have to really key in or copy it from IA. As we had showed you in the presentation, you have data for each of the IA in the IA structure. We are just going to go ahead and copy that for the specific customer and say, okay, this applies to us, and this is how it is flowing in. This is the level that we go now. this is what we are doing for the 25th to make sure this would be applied to all processes, including the solution. So we are not, if there is some solution that is not available, we are make sure we identify the gap at a high-level document, which is a VRE50, a solution design document. For example, they talked about Sales Hub. Sales Hub is the one for doing cash sales. We're replacing that with Sales Hub rather than doing cash sales or counter sales function in IA. So that would be a solution that Vish and they will kind of make sure that's identified and documented.
Okay, so I get that now, but explain to me. We are in the core team. We are the entire core team is sitting. I have all the 6 consultants there as well.
Sure.
Tell me, how are we going to? So go back to your list of the 24. Which are we going to cover first?
These from a sequence count perspective, like for example, Todd's the lead, so the lead for this one. For example, the procure to pay.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing that there is planning associated with and vesting associated with that part.
Mm-hmm.
Deep diving, but there is a connection to that part. We pick up. If I go to it, it's going to take me to the warehousing part, which I'm not discussing at this point of time, but it'll talk about goods put away, what the actual process is doing.
Mm-hmm.
It starts affecting warehouse receiving a role at that point of time.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are doing is keeping group together because of the impact. Because when you're looking at procure to pay completely, you're seeing how the different roles are affected. If I click here, you're going to see who purchased it. Information is here, and then it's scroll down. If I scroll down here, at a higher level.
I'm just trying to get some clarity. So just to get some clarity on if you go back to your spreadsheet. So you said Swayam is going to do demand plan, right? Demand to plan, planning, calculations,
yeah,
actions,
planning,
right?
calculations to actions, correct.
Sorry, let's focus on procure to pay, because that's what you have on. So okay, procure to pay, you're going to do proposal to purchase order, right? And then you're going to do indirect procurement. You're going to do goods receipts to put away.
Correct.
So he's going to stand up in front of the entire core team, and he's going to go over this entire exercise.
Yes. So he's going to flow through the process. Remember, we are not going into M3 at this point of time. We're just making sure all processes are identified and the solution is offered. So the reason we are not jumping into the process directly, because in that case, the higher level gaps that we are looking at, we will have to come back and say versus identify the functionality. For example, Sales Hub. We have not talked about Sales Hub in the list of 244 processes.
Sorry, Vijay. Let's focus on procure to pay, because you're jumping from procure to pay to Sales Hub.
No, I'm saying that's the level, higher level, because those are the processes at 57 which are not there.
I get that. So let's focus on this.
Sure.
Let's imagine you're Swayam. You're going to walk me through. I'm 14. You're going to walk me through procure to pay. So you're going to tell me that you're at procure to pay. You're going to work on proposal to purchase order. That's what you're going to show the entire core team, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So where are the high level gaps then? Because I'm trying to understand. Do I need the entire core team there when I can give you my procurement team, which is a very small, narrow team that can make the decision on procure to pay. Your end on procure to pay is going to be the finance team coming in to make the payment, the purchase order, correct?
For the resolution, correct. That
That's
is
what I'm
still
trying.
through the process. So remember, that is still through the process of handover between, and again, the ones that we are focusing on during the initial discussion is only relating to the 24 that we have selected. Then using that 24, we get into preparing for the lower level process so that we can go through and we can demonstrate the transactions for that.
So the lower level process, are you going to show that during this presentation when Swing is doing it, or is it at a different time?
So that is the week for the clients where we come back and then they're going to go into deeper into the breakout sessions. Remember you were saying here.
Okay. Yeah. I get that.
Okay.
But your point. But yesterday you told me you wanted the entire core team to do these 24 iterations, correct?
So first part is 57 of them that we are going through. So the whole 57. So this list that we're talking about for CRP.
Yeah.
At a high level, I'm going to remove the all. These will be all the 57 that we are going to run through the process that's affecting the functionality again, because the applicability could be across a division, and we have people across from different areas or different divisions. We want to make sure everybody has, and we have that information available. And if there are any questions for that, we are going to put a question mark, and then we can bring down and we can bring that thing later on.
Okay, so these 57, you want the entire core team to be there, along with the consultants. What timeline on getting all of these 57 covered by?
So 57 from a process standpoint, the high-level document that we are walking through is going to be within the first day itself. So we start on 26th. 27th noon, we should be able to finish that off, or even less time, because we are going through with each and every, this is what the flow is, and we move the next one. Below the 57, then what applies, that is the question. So you're seeing the block under procured pay where there are more than the 7, like the target buying, which target buying we are doing it in CRP2. We are going to cover the rest of the 3 things with CRP1, which would be claim resolution is going to be again later on. Is that clear,
okay.
Shyam?
No, because I'm focusing on language again. CRP1 is it the entire core team, or what? For me, what you told me CRP meant is conference room piloting, right?
Correct. Right.
Okay. So what's asking you is, so you're telling me on the 26th, the half day of the 26th, the full day of the 27th, going to go through all of these 57 processes on a very high level.
The half day of 26 and the half day of 27. So by that time, we should be able to finish off all the 57 processes, identify that, and identify any higher level gaps between from a process. Remember, when we are looking at the process, everything is as a solution. So we are not looking at just, we will also identify, okay, what are the ones from a functional level, again, higher level that we are talking about, that is missing, that is not there. We document that,
right.
We identify as gaps. We are not going to dive in. That will be tackled at a later stage, but we've got that documented. So the whole solution at a higher level will be complete from a BRE 50 document, and then the consultant sifts through each of these 24 processes, the ones 57, then make sure that for the 24 ones, they are documenting the process for the BRE 130, which is the deeper dive for the 24 of them.
Oh, so the 26 half day, the 27 half day, we're going through all the 57.
Right.
We are going to break out into sessions, the half of the 27th, the full day of the 28th. Then we break out into our functional areas.
So what we are doing is, at that point of time, go through all the process of, for this, we would like to